All right, guys. So, how is a failed marriage like an Avengers movie?
Oh,
As
I don't
someone
know.
who's been through one of these, I should know the answer to this, but go on.
Well, first somebody snaps, and then you lose half your shit.
Oh, belly laugh,
Oh,
belly laugh, belly laugh.
oh, oh,
Oh
oh.
my
Oh,
gosh.
oh.
Good one.
Wow. Well, welcome back
Accurate.
everyone to the Real Heroes show. We're back at it with another video here. Today we're going to be going through and breaking down episode 3 of WandaVision that just came out this week on Disney Plus. Corey here, got Kevin and Nick as always, and boys, let's dive right into it, and let's get the burning question out of the way. 1 to 10, what do you give this episode?
I'm gonna go with an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty stellar episode. Hitting on a lot of the feels, stuff
Yeah.
that we kind of grew up with, whether in reruns or what have you. Um, but also just enough actual plot movement in order to keep it super interesting and to keep us guessing.
I like it. Nick?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd say probably an 8. And just to back up what Kevin said, there's enough within the actual episode to kind of string us along.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No distractions.
8.
8.
8.
Solid. I like it.
Solid 8. Fantastic.
Solid 8.
I feel like we're on an episode of Dancing with the Stars, but I'm going to say
Yes.
8 too. So just make it 8 across the board. I really like the episode, but I want to give room just in case some others later down the road are even better than this one and
I agree.
melt
I
our
agree.
minds a little more. So
Yeah.
cool, good stuff. I like that we're all in a consensus on that. And
Next time we'll have numbers we can hold up.
that's
Oh,
right.
we
Well,
should.
Kevin will Photoshop
All surprise
numbers
on
into
that
it. Yeah.
on our hands.
We'll do it on we'll do it on 3, and we'll just lift a hand up, and it'll have a number written on it. It'll be very cultish,
Yeah.
and it'll be wonderful. All right, so Nick, what did you like the most about this episode, or was there anything that you didn't really care for?
I tried to think about what I didn't care for, and it's maybe I just wish there was a longer runtime. But again, I can't really complain about the runtime because of what they're trying to fit into the entire season
Sure.
and each episode. So I have to respect that as well. But aside from that, man, there were a couple points I wrote down because I wasn't too sure what you guys were gonna do. As far as what you liked spontaneously. So I've got a couple things. But if I'm going to pick the one, I'm going to say when Wanda says to Vision, people are always on the verge of discovering our secret, right? She's sitting on the couch. She's kind of standing up. And then Vision gets serious. And Paul Bettany kind of, turns on that acting to the serious role and says, I know what you mean, but it's more than that, isn't it? Mr. and Mrs. Hart, dinner, outside with Herb. And this is the moment where I don't know if a lot of people caught that or maybe understand the meaning behind it. There's a quick pause in Vision, or with Paul Bettany. He breaks the fourth wall in acting, and he looks directly at the camera. The only time it's happened. And what that signifies, the purpose of breaking the fourth wall in acting, the fourth wall is an imaginary barrier between a film or television show and the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's what separates the real world from the fictional world. Breaking the fourth wall is when the characters acknowledge they are in a movie and interact directly with the audience. Just let that sink. We'll talk about that in the theory episode next.
Yeah, for sure.
But it glitches. It glitches, and it goes back to that same thing where it's like now it's in Technicolor. Now it's the technology has improved with television, right? As we kind of literally did it in our reality, and it goes back to that happy moment that happened in the second episode when she does the no and it rewinds like a VHS tape. That whole scene. It was, to me, kind of like gave me chills a little bit. I'm like, what?
Yeah. The glitch
that's
was
powerful
definitely
stuff.
like a wait a minute, was that supposed to happen? Did my internet fuck up? What?
Yeah,
what,
I know. It's
what?
like,
What?
Yeah.
And then it's like, nope.
Did
Okay.
Disney Plus just mess up on me? What
Yep.
the hell is this shit?
No, but then when you watch it back a second time, when Vision starts to question everything, the music
Yeah.
behind him is very ominous. It's in a minor
Yes.
key and everything. And then
Yep.
when it glitches back out, it goes back to like, happy 70s sitcom major key music, and it completely bypasses everything that just happened. So that's
Yeah.
good. I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the breaking the fourth wall, which especially
Yeah, I
we're
didn't
in a
notice
fucking
it either.
sitcoms don't have the fourth wall because that's where the studio audience sits. That's hilarious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually really good. So nice. Kevin, what about you? What'd you like, dislike, thoughts, fuzzy feelings, anything like that?
I may go in a different direction than what you guys did, but honestly, the comedic timing between Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, I think, is just
Yeah.
gold. I'm having a ball just watching them act like they're in a sitcom. It's fantastic. It's we haven't gotten too much of a chance to see Elizabeth Olsen's acting chops, and we've seen Paul Bettany and stuff like Knight's Tale, but she's really pulling this off, and I'm just completely enjoying being there for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I have a few small things 'cause I figured you guys would hit on the bigger plot points, but there was a fucking stork in this episode.
Yeah.
Literally marched around their living room. And if you would have told me 10 years ago, Corey, there's going to be a Marvel property where a stork marches around a 70s sitcom that's themed to Scarlet Witch and the Vision, I'd have told you, get out of my head, strange drug that I'm on. But it's happening and it's incredible. Herb glitches out like he's just like a weird robot dude, and he has the strongest hedge clippers on earth, and he just cuts right through the concrete block. The show's getting weird, and that's all I asked for from Marvel when this show was first announced, and when they were talking about it and doing the press tours and everything. I was just like, just make it weird. And this episode completely dove off the diving board straight into the deep end of weirdness, and I was 100% here for it. I also love how they're striking a balance between all of this stuff that we just talked about. So Kevin, you mentioned humor. Nick, you mentioned the strange and the ominous. There are sweet tender moments, like when the first baby pops out and Vision names him Tommy because it's going to make Wanda happy. It has just all these good feels, and it makes you care about these characters that you might not have cared about before, based on their limited roles in some of the films. So just amazing work there. So moving.
Can I have a second favorite moment?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay. So when Geraldine is there talking with Wanda, and Wanda mentions her brother, and Geraldine just goes dark for a second and says, he was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? Like that one little second of like lucidity or whatever is going on there. That was enough to break up all of the happy love stuff in the moment, for you to go, wait, oh yeah, that's not what this is.
Dude,
and kind of get your head back in it for a second. It was fantastic.
That was another
Super
point.
spooky.
That whole ending was another point I had on here. But again, it's one of those, why did you say that name? Because
they had a Martha moment.
Yeah, it was a total Martha moment. Like, she didn't need to say Ultron, and Wanda would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was, we'll talk about that later, but just that, what did you say? I will say another thing I wrote down about the comedic part when the power goes off, when Wanda makes the power go out, like show out the whole block, and Phil's wife comes in the room and says, do these earrings make me look fat? And he goes, oh, thank God. Like, every guy out there has probably been in that moment at least once in their life. Maybe not with who they're with now, respectively, but in the past, probably.
I'd rather deal with a power outage than fall into the trap of, does blank make me look fat?
Oh man, that was perfect. I definitely laughed out loud.
The pro tip is to answer that question with yes with a straight face every single time.
Yeah.
Because then when they go, "Oh my God, are you serious?" It'd be like, "No, it's a damn trap. Why do you ask me that every single time?"
Yeah. It's a trap.
So disclaimer, I am a divorced man, so don't take my advice very
Don't
seriously.
take Corey's
People of the
advice.
internet. I'm not good at the relationship. So let's talk about Geraldine, because we all know Geraldine is not Geraldine. Geraldine is Monica Rambeau.
Yep.
She's got a sword pendant on her necklace that Wanda
Mhm.
notices because she saw that same logo on the back of the beekeeper outfit. She saw that same logo on the helicopter. Do you guys think that Geraldine / Monica was trying to break into Wanda's brain a little bit by mentioning Ultron, or do you think she blew her cover?
I think personally that Monica, whatever is going on here, when Monica gets inserted into this environment, she's not all there immediately.
Okay.
I feel like she has to adjust to her surroundings. And like maybe she hasn't been there long enough, or maybe her, psyche is not necessarily strong enough. There's something going on there because she acts confused a lot,
Yeah.
at the beginning. There's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I think she says in that one
She
episode.
does, yeah.
Yep.
She doesn't seem to know her name at first. There's lots of stuff, and when she says he was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? It was like
Yeah.
she's remembering something that she feels like is appropriate, but she doesn't know why she knows it, and she's kind of like. So I don't think it's anything that she did purposefully. Um, to answer your question, yeah, I think she blew her cover a little bit, but I don't know necessarily that she had any other option.
Right.
Her
Right.
brain's just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. I think she did to a certain extent, but it's almost like why? Like why mention the name? Did she know that it might come to that? I mean, again, we can kind of theorize on that later, but in the event of did she or didn't she? I think I think she definitely did. Because of what happens at the very end of the episode. Like that probably wasn't supposed to happen, but who knows? Maybe it was an expectation that could have happened as a possibility, but
Yeah.
it's like be careful what you say sometimes because
You never know what's going
especially
to
around
happen.
someone like Wanda with these supernatural magical powers.
Yeah.
Who could 1v1 Ultron and potentially win.
Yep.
As a regular human being, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
it's okay. She just had to rush
live
home.
and learn. Yeah, dude, that was kind of creepy, right? Like she's like, it's okay. She had to rush home.
Yeah. Wanda gets a little scary at the end of this episode.
Oh,
She
dude,
does.
And it starts to bring some credence to the idea that she might become a villainous character by the end of this show.
I do want to touch on really quick about what Kevin said about Elizabeth Olsen's acting. I did see that Kevin Smith made an Instagram post where he was like fanboying out about everything, which rightfully so, because everyone kind of does it about their passion, the things that they love and whatnot. But we do it. But he said,
"That's why we're here."
Right, exactly.
Subscribe.
But he even said to just give Elizabeth Olsen an Emmy already for this, and I'm like, he might be right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with him, and I think by the end of this thing, she's gonna probably deserve one.
At least get nominated for this because
it'd be she's going back and forth from all of these different demeanors and really kind of personalities and stuff. And
when you look at these 3 episodes, Vision basically plays the same character in all 3, but she plays a very different character in all 3 because as the 50s, 60s, and 70s progressed, the role of a woman in society changes significantly more than the man's role in society. So she's got a lot of heavy lifting to do in this show, and she's knocking it out of the park. She's been awesome.
Yeah,
I wonder what Scorsese would say about this.
Is cinema.
It's not cinema. The MCU is not cinema. Or is it?
I love Scorsese, but
I do too. Yeah.
That that jab will forever live on. That might be his legacy in like pop culture, is him
Sadly.
shitting on Marvel movies and then people
Yeah.
shitting on him for it. But cool.
Oh man.
Well, do we want to share any quick Easter eggs before we get out of here?
Well, I mean, there's the obvious stuff like the
I have
hydrosoak
one.
and
Yeah.
okay, what's yours?
Billy and Tommy.
Yeah.
Like
So
straight
those
from the
names,
comics.
yeah.
Those names are so significant, right? Like,
Yep.
and I love that they do that, whether or not they're actually true. They'll actually be real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that they actually got some credit and
Yeah.
were pulled from Marvel canon from
Yeah.
the comics. So
Yep.
to me, that's like, I'm satisfied. Cool. All right.
Yeah, even if they don't become Wiccan and Speed in this
Right.
show, the fact that
Right.
they did name them Tommy and Billy is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I have a couple. They're pretty interesting, and I'll shoot them out real fast here. So in the opening montage, Vision is reading a pregnancy book that has a tall, dark, shadowy figure on it. Looks a lot like Mephisto's silhouette. And if the idea is that Mephisto wants their kids, that
Ooh.
would be great. When Vision is either walking or riding a bike during the intro, he goes by the movie theater, and the movie that's playing is Oz the Great and Powerful, which is a movie that came out in 2013, which makes no sense given the 1970s context. It's also a movie that was directed by Sam Raimi, who directed the Spider-Man trilogy and is also the director of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So I don't know what they're
Ooh.
doing.
But it's also referencing the Wizard of Oz, who was
Right.
the man behind the curtain.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
there's a
Right.
lot of Wizard of Oz homages between black and white.
Yep.
Agnes rides a bike, very similar to the Wicked Witch, all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
pretty neat in there. Gosh, what else? There were a couple more. Tommy comes out first because he's
Yeah.
speed. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's just like this show's littered with stuff.
It really is.
Which is awesome. And it's just the last one, Westview is actually I did some research.
Yes.
It is a real unincorporated community inside of a town called Ridgefield Park in New Jersey. And if you do the Google map or the Apple map, it's only 2.2 miles away from Hackensack, which is the town in episode 2 where they said that the guy was buying his bowling trophies from. So that people were wondering, is Westview a real place? It seems like it is.
Yeah.
Because it's actually on real maps in real life. And when you look at that sign that it pulls out to at the end of the episode, that looks like a real sign with a real town. There are barricades surrounding it with the whole sword thing. But maybe Wanda has just taken over like a chunk of it. And that's this bubble that we're in. And we don't know how far that goes. But just the dedication to, finding a town that isn't actually a real town. It's an unincorporated community. And then picking towns around it to write into the dialogue. Super cool. Love that.
Yeah, I agree.
Lots of attention to detail. It's what makes this shit fantastic.
100%.
Yep.
So to wrap this one up, guys, final thoughts. If this is like act 1 of a 3-act structure, how you guys feeling about this show so far? It's Marvel's first foray into TV. Are you feeling that they're onto something?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a form that they can continue in perpetuity. Streaming isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Seeing as how it's still relatively new, I don't see people rushing back to theaters in droves anytime soon. Especially considering I think Regal is still closed. As are some other ones, but they basically right now have carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They own the air, they own the properties, they own the viewers at this point.
Pretty much.
So they can do what they want to do, which is it's something really special that doesn't come around that often, because when you allow somebody creative like Kevin Feige and the entire MCU group to do what they want to do, what is important to them, what they have passion for, that's when you get something truly spectacular. So super excited about where we go from here.
Cool. Nick?
I'd say for these first 3 episodes, it's a really nice way of setting up the first act in a broader spectrum of which could be a one hit wonder TV series. Like we might not get a WandaVision season 2. So
Why not?
if this is just it for WandaVision, because of the rest of the phases and so forth, then they're going to make the best of it. I think so far what they've done is great with the writing, the additions, the Easter eggs, everything littered around the first 3 episodes. I think each episode has gotten better progressively.
Mhm.
So thinking about what's to come in Act 2 and Act 3 with these next 6 episodes, I think I'm very hopeful. I'm excited to see what continues to be unveiled, literally. So
They're literally peeling back the onion as
Oh,
we're
yeah.
watching the show.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to not like this show, and I understand if people have like they don't get it or something like that. But again, that's why we're here.
What we're here for.
We're here for you
Yep.
guys to help
Good.
to comprehend the elusiveness
Just to help you peel the
and the
onion.
magic about what's actually going into the show. There's I'm gonna throw a Transformers punchline. There's more than meets the eye in this episode. So
Boy, is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this, and I'll keep it short. If this is what we can expect from Marvel on television, I'm in
All in.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, sign me up for every show at this point if they're going to go in this direction. So cool. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this video. Hope you guys are enjoying WandaVision as much as we are. Would love to hear your thoughts. So please leave a comment below and let us know what you think of the show. If you found any Easter eggs, what you're thinking about the different time periods that we're going through. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that way you never miss another video. We have tons coming out this year, which we're really looking forward to. So also hit us up on our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. You can email us if you want to be on the show. It's realheroespodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, we will see you in the next video.